All right, welcome back. My name's Shane Lakins, and we're going to be continuing on with our series on my 180 golf called The Beginner's Brain, where I'm going to be switching from a right-handed golfer to a left-handed golfer. And it's really what it's going to do is it's going to take us back to the beginning of when we were trying to learn how to play. I am not somebody that plays really well left-handed, so this is going to be an interesting journey. The idea is we're going to put in about 100 hours. We'll see how long that takes to get to 100 hours, and theoretically, I should be fairly proficient at that. Now, I'm not ready to kind of say I'm trying to shoot 80 or something like that, but we'll see how this journey goes. So day 2, off goes the right-handed club. In comes the left-handed club. But before I do, I'm going to do a little bit of a warm-up, just trying to get the movement pattern down. So early on in the process of a beginner golfer, just trying to figure out how the body moves and what the sequence of the movement should be. So I've got this little device here. It's got a little bit of a whip to it. And what that does is helps with the kinematic sequence. So it helps with the timing of everything. If you get with too much arm, this becomes really whippy. So you have to be a little bit more patient. So, that's going to be one of the training aids that I use to actually help me with that sequencing. But for now, I'm just going to use it as a bit of a warm-up tool before we kind of get started. I actually have just played right-handed 18 holes on the simulator. We're going to see how switching quickly over to the left hand, whether there's any residual challenges with that. Now, I'm going to do a series coming up on the grip, stance, and postures. That's the GPS about the golf swing. So I won't kind of bore you with the details of that while we're doing this video, but look for that on the My 180 Golf. I'll do a deep dive into the grip and why the grip is important. But for today, you want to see me suffer with trying to hit the ball left-handed. I want to try to do that. Also, we'll see how it goes. I'll put the screen back up on here, and we'll get rid of the other days. I've made the pointer a little bit bigger here for us, so it's a little easier to see. And we'll get the party started here. I'll get rid of that though. So that was our last session. So we'll get rid of those. All right. So off we go with our first swing. Again, trying to work on good grip, good stance, good posture. Let's see how we do here. Okay. Just getting warmed up here. I can tell you, it feels really weird to just immediately switch over to the left-handed side after golfing for the last hour right-handed. Yeah, we're going to get a few of those, that's for sure. So that one hit right off the bottom of the club pretty much. All right, so that one I'm just trying to work on a couple things. So it's a much better swing on that one. Better contact, I should say. So one of the things I'm going to work on tonight is just trying to get the club back into, so there's checkpoints in golf. And again, you don't have to memorize these or anything like that. But that GPS position, that the grip, stance, and posture, grip, posture, and stance, is checkpoint 1. Okay, so P1, if you will, position 1. P2 is the club head, and again, you're going to see it from, I've got the camera set up a little bit outside. I would not want to receive a video from somebody from where I've got the camera right now, but to shoot the video for the purposes of this channel and trying to show you what's happening, it needs to be a little bit away. Ideally, I want the camera at the height of the hands, so while I'm addressing the ball, so be at the height of the hands, and then when I come back into this position, I essentially want to lose my hands into the club head. So when the shaft is parallel with the ground, that's P2. I want the club head probably turned in just a hair, but certainly not wide open. So when people, open the club up like that, that's going to be bad news. If you think about kind of when you're taking the club away, when you get to the top, if you can kind of be in a good position there, then it's relatively simple from that point on. Obviously, there's some things that can happen, but it's the how you get to that top of the swing. And so it's important to kind of work on these checkpoints. And again, I don't want people to become robotic that they kind of get there. But if I'm going to learn how to do this from scratch, like I am right now from the left side, I want to start learning the right patterns right from the get-go. So that's what I'm going to work on tonight, is just kind of getting that P2 position in the right spot if I can, and see if the rest of the swing can follow suit. Now it really feels quite rigid. That swing, it does not feel very natural, but we'll see how it goes here as we get loosened up a bit. So I'm still trying to control most of the swing with the other hand. Getting back to here, so I'm going to do my little checkpoint to here, and then try and reproduce that with the swing. So again, if you're a beginner and you're trying to start out, it's like, when's the first time I should get a lesson? I would say, right early as you can. Learn some of the good motor patterns early on, and that way you don't have to break them later. So I'm trying to practice what I preach here. And I don't say that just because I'm a teaching professional. I think that goes with any sport. I used to coach running a lot, and it's really interesting when people come with really poor running mechanics, because it's such a cyclical sport. It's really difficult to break somebody out of that pattern that they've created, because they've done it millions of times, when they run. Same thing with the golf swing. Think about how many times, somebody that's been golfing for 20 years has swung a club, and although they've maybe been working on things, essentially that pattern gets ingrained in, and it's really difficult to break and get them into something else, if in fact they need that. So do my little practice, back, and this is going to be we're going to see a few of those. As I said, it feels very, very rigid, very stiff. Okay, so but I'm okay. It's gonna be, you're gonna hit some crappy shots. I hit some crappy shots from the right side, let alone on the left. So I'm putting myself out there so that hopefully you'll feel comfortable working on some things, if you're a beginner golfer, and not having to worry about what people think. So let them think what they want to think. You're going to work on what you're going to work on. All right. And this is, what you sometimes see. Like, I hit a bunch of balls that were pretty good, and then I've hit two that kind of really not very good. But it's really where the ball hit on the face. The one before that was right in here, and that's the S word, and it's not Shane, it's Shank, and so that obviously went completely left, and that one there I just hit dead on top of the ball. So, but again, I'm working on the process. So and at some point, this will start to feel a little bit more natural. It does not feel natural right now. That is for sure. Okay. Let's get a good little run going here. So to here and keep turning. Well, if there was a gallery, I'd be signing a glove right now. That's all right. Get that checkpoint too. Now you might have noticed when I swung there, obviously I did my little practice swing, and then, to take it to here, and then when I actually swung, I actually looked to see where that is. Now, I can help myself a little bit. So it's, that you may say, aren't you supposed to be looking at the ball the whole time? It's like, yeah, probably in the game it makes sense, 100%. But I'm practicing right now. I'm trying to figure this out. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stick now on the ground, parallel. It doesn't have to be right where the club is, but parallel to where that is on the ground. So you maybe can't see it in the video there, but I've got a stick now down here. So I'm going to run this parallel to here. So I'm not over here, and I'm not over here. I'm trying to get it in that position right there. And again, because the camera's on a bit of an oblique angle from where I would want it to actually shoot this video to analyze it, it's not going to look quite the same. So I'm going to look like I'm inside, every time. So this is actually kind of perfect for where I want to be. And I have to orient myself into this position. I got to turn this much. That's how far the camera is kind of off of where I would want it to be to analyze. So just keep that in mind. All right, so working on this. Get that movement off the ball. It's a low stinger. That'd be great into the wind. Trying to find the positive out of some of these here, and I think that's the the key. You got to just work through these. A little thin. So the beauty about this system is I can switch, from the view of looking at it. From there to kind of where the balls are landing to where it's hitting on the face. So it may be a little bit tough to see, but I'm hitting them not too bad in the center, but a little bit low for the most part. So we'll do a little we'll do a short deep dive into that when we kind of finish this off here. Too bad. Little open face. But again, you can't be afraid to hit some bad shots. It's going to happen. So that is an open facer. Okay, so the reason that went obviously just wide left is when I hit the ball, okay, the face was open. Okay, so I'm trying to go this way, and that face was kind of wide open, so I'm trying to go there. So, and what you have to realize is that the ball will sometimes kind of lie whether it was a good swing or not. If I get that face closed and hit it straight, that actually probably goes pretty good. So, you can't look at the result always on the screen and go, oh, that was a good shot or a bad shot. Certainly it does give a good indication sometimes, when you hit it well, but when you hit it somewhere not square on the face, that's not always the case. Oh, that felt good. That might be my best swing right there. Yeah, 120. And you see that one much higher. So I did a much better job of getting down to the ball. Now, when you're actually hitting with an iron, you are hitting down on the ball. What I see a lot of beginners trying to do is help the ball up. And you certainly don't want to hit behind the ball a long way, because we call that a fat shot, and the club just dies before it gets to the ball. And if you're playing outdoors, you have a great big divot before you get to the ball. So you do want to hit ball first, and then the divot will come after. And you can also, I could be standing on a range, listening and hearing somebody hit and know whether it's fat or not. And that means, again, hitting behind the ball. So you notice each time I'm trying to get my grip in a good position. We'll talk again a little bit more about that at a later point. So I'm trying to get that weight shift. Just a little late on the hands turning over on that one. Just club didn't get square again. But again, a good hit. I'll wrap off a couple here and see if I can get into a bit of a rhythm. If by rhythm I mean dead left, then yep. All right, get that turned. There's the tale of two swings. In between those last two swings is a wonderful thing called a fairway. Maybe almost a golf course, I don't know. It's pretty... All right. Here, up. Ooh. All right. Swing, again, I don't think the swing was as bad as the result, but that's okay. Definitely did not catch much ball on that one. There. Ooh, baby. There you go. Now we're cooking. 120-yard carry with my 7-iron. I'm happy with that. At this point, anyway. Okay, so get that turned in a bit. All right, here we go. Ooh, a low runner. Those are the ones you do not want to hit on a cold day in Canada these days. Your fingers just fall right off. And so, yeah, hitting that thin, it's just like a tuning fork. I used to have I won, when I was a junior, I won a 1-iron. And I'm not sure if that was actual win or I should have just not accepted that prize. Because I can remember it actually, so this is when I'm 12 years old, 14 years old, and it had a really thin grip on it. Just what you want on a 1-iron. And I think it was a TNT Custom, was what it was. And man, when you hit that thing thin even on a warm day, it was bad. On a cold day, my friend and I, we called it the tuning fork. And you know, if you had a stress fracture somewhere, it would let you know. It definitely vibrated going up. Yeah, 1-irons are kind of like a dinosaur these days. You don't see them out on tour at all, and you certainly don't see them in too many people's bags. Right to there. Let's go. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm not gonna get too dogmatic about, you know, how long or how many balls I hit. I hit 30 the first time through. I'm gonna hit one more, and that'll give me 25 tonight. And I'm just gonna work on, you know, counting off my 100 hours to learn how to play left-handed. This is session number 2. A little thin on that one, but it's an okay way to end it. Found the middle of the fairway. All right, so really quick summary and synopsis of tonight. I'll take this one off here. So I'm gonna hide the first session, and we're gonna see how session number 2 looked. Okay, so if you saw session number 1, it was probably as a bigger circle, kind of more like this. I think tonight a couple more that didn't really go where I would have liked, but definitely a little bit more of a centering over kind of the target. So the target is right here. So again, the bias is a little bit more left, certainly left on these ones. Got a couple right. But all in all, not too bad on session number 2 for 25 balls. The summary, well, if I look at the club data, so yeah, you see definitely, hitting a lot of the balls pretty low on the face, and we'll work on that. That's okay. And the thing I love about this system is being able to actually watch the club come in and hit the ball, and you can see that did a pretty good job, about picking it clean, not really hitting too far behind it, so that's okay. And then the last thing here is just looking at the actual shot data. And so if we look at kind of the numbers, my average on, I think, session number 1 was a little bit further, but I had a couple bad ones that are pulling it down, like a carry of 2.4 yards. That kind of kills your average. And then you've got, so carry is really all I care about for the most part, but a couple good ones around 120, so that's a good sign. And let's see, I like what I see so far. So there it is. So that's session number 2, the Beginner's Brain, My 180 Golf Series. Check us out on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. We're gonna have lots of content on the mental side of golf, and this is maybe a challenge on the mental side with Dr. Faizan Imtiaz. I'll get him in here, and maybe you can figure out how to help me with this. And then with Reed Halton on the physical side. So lots of stuff to check out. Let us know what you think of this series. If you've got some suggestions for me and some things to do, I'm going to be putting some drills up that I'm going to be working on to try and work on some of these processes that I'm doing. But just remember, it is a process. So that's it. Signing off for session number 2 from the Beginner's Brain. I'm Shane Lakins from My 180 Golf. See you next time.